in for Africa.
I'm in it for Africa.
I'm in for Africa.
I am in for Africa.
I'm in for Africa.
I am in for Africa.
I am in for Africa.
I am in for Africa. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on this, I would like to say, beautiful evening in London. For some, it may be a beautiful morning. For others, it might just be a beautiful midday. But nonetheless, thank you for joining us on this very special occasion. Many people would have been inundated with a lot of messages and requests and instructions and call for action to join us today for what it is the launch for Info Africa, a very special initiative which is by Africans for Africans as we deal with this pandemic globally. For me personally, this is something that's been sitting in my heart and thinking about our brothers and sisters back home. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce the captain of the ship today, who's going to steer us through this emotional but yet victorious journey. Aisha Cisse, over to you.
And with everybody who has tuned in, beamed in from wherever you are around the world. Let me first start by just setting the stage and introducing everyone formally. With us, of course, you just heard from Eddie, but he needs a formal introduction. Eddie Kadi, he is a comedian, a philanthropist. He is the brains behind this campaign and is the global curator for this campaign, this Alliance for Africa. And we're going to be explaining what that is in a few moments. Also with us is Dr. Richard Mihigo. He's the Deputy Incident Manager for the COVID-19 pandemic response. He's with the World Health Organization, actually at their regional office there in Brazzaville, Congo. And of course, the man on your screens that you should all recognize, he is, of course, a music legend. Awilo Longomba is with us also. And let me take a moment just to thank you, wherever you are, as Eddie said, morning, noon, night, wherever you are, whether you're dressed up or in your pajamas. Thank you for taking the time to spend it with us so you could witness the launch of something momentous and to explain what exactly is happening and what this Africa Alliance against the coronavirus is. Let me toss it back to Eddie.
Thank you, Aisha. Thank you. A lot of people would have seen this hashtag InfoAfrica. Of course, the Alliance, the aim is to respond to the challenges that Africans are facing. And these challenges, we want to, first of all, give it to our Africans as a duty for us to help our brothers and sisters back home to respond to these challenges, of course. Now, we want to engage with influencers around the world. Of course, opinion leaders, community leaders, whether you're an actor, you're an artist, you're an athlete, if you're even a blogger, even if you're the loudest person on your road. And we all know as Africans, we do have that one loud person in our neighborhood. Even you would like to engage with, of course, in delivering these preventive and life-saving messages across the continent. Now, we do want to have a positive impact to local communities, of course, as well. But just to go back a little bit, as she said, I am a comedian. I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm an entertainer. But a lot of my inspirations come from being Congolese, being African. I've gone all around Africa and I've picked up inspirations and I've taken it around the world. And for me, it's back to, it's testament to all those people I've come across, the mothers and the sisters and the kids running around, just the pure happiness of our culture. And those are the moments that I've needed my culture. I've needed my people to inspire me in order for me to carry my work. So I didn't see why not during these pandemics where our people also needed me at a time of call that I cannot deliver. I have to be there for my people the same way they've been there for us. And this has to be duplicated with all my friends, all my families, but more importantly, those people who have the voice. I count myself as an ambassador for my continent, and I count many people in those, as we see Aisha here, Awilo Longomba as well. And it's extremely important for me to reach out to all the influencers. One of the reasons why, I had a conversation with a few of my great colleagues about this campaign was because we knew there were people there who were voiceless. There are many people who are in positions that we're not in. There's people right now, believe it or not, who don't have access to electricity. So when you ask them to self-isolate, they are thinking, well, we understand the reasons why, but where's water? Where's electricity? Where's our jobs? What about money? And for those reasons, we want to make sure that we send messages of love and encouragement to give them hope, to understand that they are being heard, even though they cannot see themselves on television, they cannot see themselves on social media. We've heard their cries, and we want to make sure we do many things. One of those things we've been doing is making sure we've rallied around holding hands as celebrities and influencers and people with just voices to carry out videos of love. And there's people that have seen this online, of course. But more importantly, we wanted this to build up to go towards what we're calling the INFORAFRICA Festival. Now, that's going to be happening on the 25th of May on Africa Day. I mean, why not? It's Africa Day, so we might as well take advantage of that, right? And for that day, we want to engage and just go in conversation with a lot of artists, a lot of entertainers, a lot of influencers on that day. It's going to be a day of just celebration, but at the same time, more importantly, to also raise funds. Now, we want to raise funds, and we want to make sure that these funds go to particular places. Now, we'll be working with the United Nations Foundation on COVID-19 Solidarity Response for this one now. So this is for them to support the WHO, their effort to fight the pandemic and deliver grassroots humanitarian relief. Now, we also want to make sure that this continues, these conversations. So we want to be able to touch the people who are the most remote places. Of course, we do have Dr. Richard, as Aisha mentioned, who will be giving us more information on how we can also do this and why it is extremely important. But right now, we're starting a challenge, which I'll be talking to you about towards the end, the INFORAFRICA Challenge. And I challenge you to tell all your friends, all your family members to show that and show that solidarity that they are INFORAFRICA. Thank you, Aisha.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you for your vision and for your passion for the continent and for asking me to be part of this campaign. It's an honor to stand beside you and everybody who rises up in this moment for Africa. I always tell people the greatest blessing of my life is being born African, and now is the moment for me to stand up for the continent, and let's do this together. I want to turn it over now to Dr. Richard Mihigo, who, as I said at the beginning, is with the World Health Organization Africa office. Dr. Mihigo, thank you for the work you do. If I could bring you in here and get you to really paint a picture for all of us as to where the continent is right now in this fight against COVID-19, the coronavirus.
Thank you. Thank you. Aisha, thank you, Eddie, for having us on this campaign today. First, to thank you for inviting the World Health Organization to join this particular campaign. It's really great to witness such a global endeavor for Africa, especially now that we are going through quite a very difficult moment. Where we need information to be disseminated across Africa. As we know, for the moment, the continent is battling with that pandemic, and the more we get information to the farthest places possible, the better. So as we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic is progressing quite rapidly on the African continent. As of today, all countries have been to some extent affected by the disease, except two, Comoros and Lesotho, but this is only a matter of time. We know that they are going to have cases even there. We have so far close to 36,500 cases that has already been confirmed across Africa, and 1,650 deaths. So I think Africa is paying a big toll to this pandemic. However, we are seeing also that the outbreak is now progressing beyond the capital cities. And some countries have now even witnessed community transmission, which means that the virus is spreading across countries, villages, towns, cities, all over the place. We still have, however, 20 countries as of today, that have so far reported less than 100 cases. So this is really telling us that we still have a very small window of opportunity where if we apply the recommendation, we can still contain these viruses in those places. So we are therefore appealing to all countries, communities in our region to really implement strictly the recommendation that has been put forward by the World Health Organization, but also by several Ministries of Health, all Ministries of Health in the country. And those are very simple things. Number one, to really maintain a good hand hygiene, to wash our hands whenever possible with clean water, with soap, and where possible to use hand sanitizer, to avoid touching our faces, because this is how we are getting contaminated ourselves. Secondly, to implement a physical distancing. Eddie, you are mentioning the some of the challenges that some countries are facing to apply this measure. But at least we are really urging countries to implement at all time physical distancing. And whenever it's necessary to go out, either for shopping, for supermarket, etc., the recommendation is really to wear a face mask so that we can protect ourselves, but also we can protect other people, because we are in a situation where many people are currently asymptomatic but infected, and they don't know that they are infected. So it's really important to see a campaign like this. And I would like really to commend the INFORAFRICA initiative, which is really a very great example on how a solution from Africans can really help us, and particularly people on the grounds that are battling against this disease, to find some solution. Eddie, you mentioned the fundraising that is going to also take place, really to contribute to this COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. So this will be really an opportunity to make sure that we are all contributing to that. So I'd like to urge Aisha all to stay informed, and particularly now that we are seeing a lot of rumors, misinformation spreading out over the social media. So to use the people like celebrities that we have today on the program, but also to request people that to go to reputable sites like WHO website to get the right information, to go to the Ministry of Health website to get the right information. So if you allow me, Aisha, I'd just like to say a few words in French, because I believe we do have some of our audience tonight that are following us as well in different parts of Africa that are speaking French. So, je voudrais réellement remercier cette initiative, Eddie, les collègues qui ont mis en place cette initiative, parce que nous pensons que l'Afrique est pour le moment à un moment critique de son histoire. Donc, il est très important que nous puissions nous tous mettre en œuvre les différentes recommandations qui ont été mises en place par l'Organisation mondiale de la santé, mais également de suivre les conseils qui sont administrés par les différents ministères de la santé. Et peut-être pour terminer, je pense que ça, c'est le moment réellement to call for, to get in for Africa. Réellement de faire en sorte à ce que nous puissions nous tous contribuer à cette mère patrie. Et peut-être un dernier appel pour nos frères et sœurs dans la partie est de l'Afrique qui parlent Swahili. Injo wakati tunapashwa wandugu, wadada, wakaka kuunga mikono tusonge Afrika mbele. Asante sana. Back to you, Aisha.
So much, Dr. Mihigo. Thank you once more for the work the World Health Organization is doing. We are grateful for your efforts, which we know are going right around the clock. To everybody who's watching, once more, just to remind you, this is live. This is not a recording, so we want to hear from you. Send your questions in. You see the chat function on your screen, so please send in your questions. We're going to try and get some of those in. And of course, if you're watching and want to use social media, get the word out about this campaign, use the hashtag InForAfrica, and again, we'll try and get you a message. So thank you for being part of this conversation. We are all in this together. Dr. Mihigo, you laid it out. This is a scary moment for everyone around the world, and Africa's own battle with the pandemic is just ramping up now. And the need for good information is absolutely critical. Go to reputable sites. I'm hosting a show, Home with Aisha, to say focus on giving the right information. So we're leaning into the right information piece, because that's critical in this fight. The other thing I want to say is, I understand that this is an incredibly difficult time for so many people on the continent who are being faced by this call to stay indoors, to not go out, when so many people on the continent need to be out and about to try and make some money, to find the resources to feed themselves and their loved ones. But at this point in time, in the absence of a vaccine, we have to follow the guidelines. There is no other option to breaking the chain of transmission other than to follow the guidelines, follow the recommendations, stay indoors, maintain that distance, wash your hands regularly. We will get through this. We absolutely will. I can't tell you when, but I can tell you that if we all come together, we will make that a reality. And that essentially is the essence, the driver behind this campaign, that we come together as a community of Africans, for Africans. We stand for our continent to break this chain of transmission, to help us emerge victorious in this fight. So we need you, influencers, thought leaders, entertainers, athletes, boys, girls, wherever you are on the continent, East Africa, North Africa, West Africa, the divisions do not matter. We are one in this moment, and we need you to be in for Africa. So join us. Join us. We're going to get through this. We're going to do it together. Let's do this journey together. Let's be victorious together. I want to bring in Awilo Ngomba. He is a music legend known to so many. He is in for Africa. He is part of this effort. Awilo, why? Why did you say yes so quickly? What does this campaign mean to you?
Yes, thank you. First, thank you. Thank you for the invitation, Edie and Aisha. Well, I say thanks because it concerns me too. I don't know if my English is better. I'm gonna say it concerns me too. You know, it's my problem too. Africa, I'm Africans, and everything. If Africa go bad, it's me. It touch me. You know, I'm so proud to be here for this launch press conference to find out we can look the solution to help fighting to coronavirus pandemic. You know, and save lives in my continent, you know, first. You know, I born in Africa. I grew in Africa. I start my career in Africa, like a musician. But now, 30 years ago, I live in Europe. I'm in Europe. My family is there. My family, I say about my kids and my wife, my everybody. But my origin is Africa. My sister and my brothers, many, my uncle, my auntie, and some of my friends. And I lost many people I know. Pour parler en français, because many people, let me go to French, because I know many people want to, you know, my English, you know, sorry. I'm going to go direct in French. Je vais parler en français. Sorry, Aisha, sorry, Scott, sorry everybody who don't listen, understand French. Bon, parce que je suis né en Afrique. Et l'Afrique, c'est mon continent. L'Afrique, c'est un continent déjà qui souffre depuis. Depuis, on a connu Ebola, on a connu plein de maladies. Donc, c'est un continent qui est riche, mais qui est resté un peu à l'écart. L'Afrique souffre. Alors, si nous, les enfants d'Afrique, nous là, on n'apporte pas une pierre, je ne vois personne pour nous aider. On nous aide rarement. C'est pour cela, pour ce genre de cas, parce que c'est très sérieux, ces pandémies. Covid-19, ça ne pardonne pas. On a beau donner des conseils, il faut se laver les mains, comme a dit le docteur Richard Mihigo. Se laver tout le temps les mains, faire attention, tenir les distances, suivre les consignes, respecter les consignes, les règles. Mais en Afrique, on a un problème, comme j'avais dit, la pauvreté. Même si les gens sont confinés en Afrique, on demande aux gens de rester chez eux. Ces gens-là, comment ils vont manger? Comment ils vont aller travailler? Comment ils vont gagner leur vie? Et puis, socialement, l'Afrique, surtout mon pays, le Congo, c'est, je ne dirais pas c'est la catastrophe, parce que c'est pire que ça, parce qu'il n'y a pas le social, il n'y a pas, comme en Europe, où on paye les gens, même si les gens qui ne travaillent pas. En Afrique, c'est toute une autre réalité. Donc, moi, je pense que simplement, comme on a commencé déjà cette conférence, on doit essayer d'accentuer le message, d'essayer de faire passer encore plus les messages. Les gens qui nous suivent, moi, je demanderais pardon aux hommes politiques, aux mécènes, les gens qui sont riches, les africains, les footballeurs, les musiciens, mes collègues, tout, pardon, rejoignez-nous. Faites partie, s'il vous plaît. On va essayer tous de mettre une pierre là-dedans. Pardon, s'il vous plaît. Moi, je suis déjà là. Moi, votre humble serviteur à Willow. Faites comme moi. N'hésitez pas, parce que le coronavirus, ça tue. Ça tue. Les Africains sont en train de mourir. Sont en train de mourir. Il y en a même qui sont déjà atteints, mais comme on n'a pas assez de moyens pour les dépistages, il y a des gens qui sont dans les provinces. Il y a des gens qui n'ont pas accès aux télés, qui n'ont pas accès aux Internet. Ils ne savent rien, parce que peut-être qu'ils sont déjà atteints. Faisons en sorte que non, voilà, il faut trouver un moyen pour essayer de venir en aide à ces gens-là. D'essayer de venir en aide à ces gens-là. Aller au plus profond, au plus fond des villages, même les gens qui sont dans les capitales. C'est tout ce que j'allais dire. Et je pense que mes collègues ont tout dit déjà. Eddie a déjà tout dit. Richard a déjà tout dit. Moi, je suis le dernier, donc je manque les mots. Aïcha aussi a fait bien passer un bon message. Non, je demande encore une fois d'aller sur le site web, le website INFORAFRICA pour faire vos vidéos. On a besoin de vos vidéos, vos aides, tout ce qui peut faire en sorte que non, cette petite organisation grandisse pour qu'on vienne en aide aux nôtres, aux gens, aux Africains, au peuple le plus démuni, nos frères et sœurs africains. Donc, je pense que je m'arrête là et je voulais dire que non, je vous aime beaucoup, je vous porte à cœur. Et on se retrouvera peut-être le 25, parce qu'on a une idée, le 25 mai, pour faire un live et concert, parce qu'il y a le confinement, mais on va faire en privé. Et ça va être pour vous tous, quoi. Ça va être pour vous tous. Et INFORAFRICA. C'est le live. Il ne faut pas manquer ça. Et c'est tout ce que j'avais à dire. S'il y a des questions, on est là pour vous. Alors, back to you, Aïcha. Thank you.
And thank you, Owilo. Très bien. That's the end of my French there, but thank you. Really appreciate all you shared there, the sentiment that you express. It was really powerful. And let's get to the questions, because as you watch us from around the world, you've already started sending in those questions, and we want to start getting you some answers. This first question is to Dr. Mihigo, and it comes to us from Francois. The question is, what are the conditions to see an end to the pandemic in Africa? And thank you to Francois for that question.
Thank you very much, Aisha. This is really a very good question. Many people are asking that. I would like just to mention that, as I said before, we are still at a very ascending peak mode of the transmission. It's important to implement all the physical barrier that I've just described a couple minutes ago. For the moment, many countries are facing issues with regards to the testing to confirm the people who are contaminated. The last couple of days, we have seen an important movement. WHO has supplied a lot of test kits and commodities to countries to help them to detect the cases, to make sure that those contacts are also known, isolated. It's only that way when we are going to make sure that we can detect and confirm the people who are infected, that country can start think on how to ultimately end to this. But we know very well that we are going to live with this virus for some time. And this is why it's important to make sure that we are putting in place all of these barriers until the international community worked to find a more lasting solution, which could be a vaccine that could really prevent everybody to get contaminated. But until we get there, I think it's quite important, and I would like really to reiterate that the implementation of the barrier, what we call the non-pharmaceutical intervention, are key to prevent the further spread of this pandemic.
Dr. Mihigo, thank you. Thank you for answering that question. The questions are coming in. I'm going to tag team the next two. Eddie, they are for you. I want to thank Pravesh in Cape Town for writing in and asking this. Tell me about the festival. What will be happening exactly? Are you raising funds? Before you answer that, Eddie, let me give a shout out to Ayo in Joburg, who also wrote in and said, I love this. Thanks so much for this. You've inspired us. How can people get more involved to spread the message? Over to you, Eddie.
Thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Dr. Mihigo. Now, that's a very important question you've asked there, Pravesh, in Cape Town. Cape Town, a place I still haven't had a chance to go to. So I'm glad I can at least deliver my message gets to go to Cape Town, way ahead of me, which is perfectly fine. The festival on the 25th of May will, as you've seen over the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of response from all over the world of people engaging on social media, engaging on live. And we would like to do something along those lines where we line up celebrities, influencers, athletes, all types of people, and we'll be going on live with them. We'll be going on this, special kind of conference mode where we'll be talking to them. Some of them will be performing. Some of them will just giving a shout out. You might see some footballers do a few kick-ups. Some people will be speaking in Swahili. Some will be speaking in Wolof. Some will be speaking in French, in Lingala, in Creole. So that's a day for us to raise funds. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, it is going to the UN Foundation COVID-19 Solidarity Response. Now, this is to support the WHO in the effort to find the pandemic and deliver grassroots, humanitarian relief. Now, it's very important to understand that I was triggered by some of my friends in Congo who were actually doing things for their community, literally delivering food, delivering, all sorts of help to people who were in vulnerable positions. Then I heard some of my friends in Ghana were doing that, and some friends in Nigeria, and that's when I realized this is already something people are doing. Why don't we just do our part to also help them? So when we talk about, grassroots humanitarian relief, it really is to help those people who are also helping the communities at the same time. Now, more importantly, I want to make sure that you guys understand on that day, you can join us too with your comments as well. And of course, we will be giving out information on the website and on all social media as you continue to follow about how you can donate. We do have, 25 days until we get to the event, but we want to start donating from, the other question, which was the second question?
Yeah, the second question was just how can people get involved? People just wanted to know.
Okay, so taking this website, I am in at INFORAFRICA.org. So I'm going to say again, I am in at INFORAFRICA.org. Please send us your emails, send us your messages of support, of course, especially those who I don't have direct contact with, right? Because I'm going to go through my entire phone book as I've been already. But if I don't have any direct contact with you and you want to reach out to me and you want to help, please do send it to I am in at INFORAFRICA.org. And of course, we're calling all the influencers from all over the world, do spread message. And when we talk about influencers, I don't just mean the biggest names that you've heard or people you watch on TV or on radio. You who are watching me right now, you're an influencer. Okay, your parents are influencers, your children are influencers. If we're all coming together, this will spread out. There's people in your villages, people who do not have mobile phones, who want to hear from you. You are an influencer to them because you have access to this information. So it's extremely important that we remember that. But we will be blasting social media non-stop to reiterate this information.
Eddie, thank you. Thank you for that. Absolutely. People check out the website, check out the platforms, use your voice. Everybody has influence and we want you to be part of this. And this question that came in for me from Rochelle, thank you for the question, Rochelle. You are a journalist yourself and disinformation around the virus is a real issue in Africa. What can be done to fight disinformation? Thank you so much for that. You've said it. When we have seen it, it's not just harmless rumors that are going around. It is information that could be harmful to people. Conversations around hydroxychloroquine and taking that and people getting overdoses and talk about, any number of things that, you know, could be potentially harmful to the body. This kind of information is dangerous. And so we ask you, we plead with you to go to reputable sites for information. Go to the WHO website. I myself, I'm broadcasting from lockdown in LA every day, a show called Home with Aisha Sase, which is devoted to this pandemic and Africa's place in the fight, and bringing on voices from all over the world to talk about what we need to do. So that's what I'm doing to fight disinformation. I'm broadcasting, but you can go to other places, other reputable sites to get the information. And we urge you to do that. Let's not lean into innuendo and rumor and my friend said. Let's seek out the right information at a time like this. It's absolutely critical. One question to you, Eddie, back to you that I want to bring in quickly because I know we need to wrap, but I think it's important for context. This from Eric Dowd in Le Monde. He says, 25th of May, Africa Day. Why is this day so symbolic?
Thank you for that question. It's symbolic, you know, the clues in the name Africa Day. And I think a lot of the times we often celebrate this day. Some of the time, this day even goes over people's heads. You know, remember Christmas Day, birthday, Valentine's Day. But you know, Africa Day should be as important as all those things I've just listed. And I think that's the day where we can spread a message of solidarity, a message of unity, because that's the day that we all celebrate the importance of Africa. That's the day that we get to talk about the issues that are facing Africa, the positives and the negatives. And I think on that day, we need to focus on the positive, which is hope, which is this message, this hashtag #InForAfrica, which is why I'm setting a challenge to everybody, right? As Aisha mentioned, there's various sites that you can go and actually get the right information. But once you find these information, why not share it with all your friends and family and everybody else around the world via all the social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can hashtag InForAfrica, leave a photo, leave a video, leave some information. And I want to see this trending because I believe there's so many things that have trended in the past year. And I also think Africa deserves to be trending for a message of hope. So once again, hashtag InForAfrica, and I want you guys to leave videos. I want you guys to leave messages of solidarity. I want you guys to pass it on to your friends. Really challenge your friends when you're having conversations with them. I'm really passionate about this because it's extremely important to understand that when you're walking around and you represent a certain culture, you're representing so many people behind you. You know, and this is a chance for us to show that Africa can be united. And I'm not saying that people are not already doing it. But what I'm saying is, once I'm able to talk to Aisha, I'm able to talk to Richard and Awilo, I know that we are in it together, for sure.
Eddie, thank you. Thank you so much. As we bring this to a close, Dr. Mihigo, I want to give you a chance to give a closing message, a quick closing message to Africa, to the world. What do you want to say to people?
Thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Eddie, for this, once again, wonderful initiative. I would like just not only to thank this campaign, but also through your media to really pass on the message that I stressed at the beginning. We don't have so far miracles, medical miracles for this. We need to stick to the recommendation that the World Health Organization has put forward and the Ministry of Health. Let's keep the physical distancing. Let's adhere to some of these hand washing measures and etc. So I think together, if we all come together, we help each other. There is no doubt that we are going to overcome this challenge. I trust people on this continent. I know that people can overcome this, but I think we need to come together. We need to make sure that we are all implementing what has been recommended. And I think sooner than later, we will get out of this.
Dr. Mihigo, thank you. Thank you for that confidence and for that message. For my part, what I want to say to you as we say goodbye is that we will get through this. My message is a simple one of hope. Like Mandela said, you know, that concept we all know, but has been made perhaps most popular by the late Nelson Mandela, Ubuntu. I am because you are. We are interconnected in this. My actions affect you. Your actions affect me. So let's stand together. Let this be a time of community, a time of compassion across the continent. Let's stand for Africa. Let's all be in for Africa. Eddie, over to you.
Thank you, Aisha. I would like to thank Dr. Mihigo for spending such a wonderful time with us. I would like to thank you, Aisha, because I know it was a call that you responded within 15 seconds. and you really, pulled it all together for us. And I really want to thank you for your presence from now and moving forward as well. And of course, the legend Awilo, to everybody that's watching right now across the continent, around the world, I'd like to say thank you for joining us. Please do spread this message of goodwill. It's extremely important that we unite everyone around the world. A big hello to my people in West Africa, the Ghanaians and Nigerians, Burkina Faso, those in Southern Africa, East Africa. I can't speak every language. I do try some Bawoni, Etise, Nagadef, Toyote, bandeko na ngao ba Congolais na bingo pesa bino message yo kitoko na lingala ndenge toza photos ala yini po ndenge na za na mwana na bino na koli na Londres mais na bosa bandeko na biso te message yo eza vraiment important pour la pandémie ko zo sala mais na mingi baza musika ba yebi makambo zo sala mate donc to sala tout to partager information o to batela ba oyo bazali na information o te pour ça information mingi zo tambola mais ça la vérité te donc to vérifier fait na information donc projet oyo avec mon vieux Awilo Longomba le propriétaire de tous les dossiers tous ça ensemble pour encourager business tous à la uni pour partager et puis pour bundi sa pandémie oyo ngaza mwana bino Congolais. So for now I'd like to pass on to Awilo who will give us a taster of what we could expect on Africa Day or Info Africa Festival. Just a taste, Awilo. Please don't give them too much because, that will now ruin the festival. I want them to feel it on that day. Via Awilo, back to you.
Thank you. Merci, Nabatnyo Sende Balandi Biso. Thank you. Merci beaucoup pour tout le monde qui nous ont suivis. Soutenons-nous, soyons toujours ensemble et unissons-nous pour combattre le Covid-19. Tango na moni na dangwe o joli joli o kitoko na yana komiki wele wele o noki aseki ngai na wanze o joli joli e Carolina mama Carolina mama Aisha iseo Aisha o Edi Kadi Richard Mihigo, elle est jolie partout, elle est jolie en... Et mwana mubali papa, prachu, abaki mondongo Edi Kamon. Mwana mubali tata, prachu. Thank you, I love you. Soyez forts, on est ensemble.
I'm looking forward to this. Remember, #InfoAfrica. Thank you, Aisha. I'm going to let you wrap up because I'm hooked on stuff.
No. Thank you. Awilo, thank you.
That's a bon côté artiste. This is my crazy,
Awilo, thank you for that burst, that major burst of energy. And I think what you just did there just summed up the passion that people are going to experience, the joy. We still have to hold on to joy in these difficult times. It's important for our humanity, our community. That will be on display May 25th. For me, as we bring this to a close, let's stand together, everyone. We're in this together. Let's stand for our continent. We are going to get through this. Eddie, very last word to you.
#InfoAfrica. Of course, I am at INFORAFRICA.org. Of course, that's the email. Right now, we're challenging everybody to make sure they hashtag. We've got so many people involved, but the continent is a big place, and let's show them that Africans can do it for Africa. Thank you to everyone that's been working hard behind the scenes so far. So many people in this group who are God sent, and I'm looking forward to interacting. But I'm telling my friends who are watching right now, if you don't send me messages for Africa, I'm not responding to your email. I'm not responding to your WhatsApp. Right now, I am Info Africa, and that's it. Thank you very much, Aisha. God bless you. Thank you for listening.
I'm in for Africa. I'm in it for Africa. I'm in for Africa.
I am in for Africa.
I'm in for Africa.
I am in for Africa.
I am in for Africa.
I am in for Africa.